Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. He is Andy, per usual. It is 18th of October, 2023, quarter to 4 Eastern Time, quarter to 3 Central Time.
Quarter to 3. We're working on our clocks right now. We're working on our clocks.
We're working very well.
Well, Cody, you know what, though? A couple things. Broken clock is right twice a day, and somewhere in the world it's 5 o'clock, so that's okay.
There you go.
Dude, these things are like, it's like ground control to Cody. Do you copy? Over.
I was going to say, you got a new little array of sunshine there.
We got to just changing things up around here. Just, anyways. So
we got 3 of the same charts that we did last week to double check in on them, and we have one soybean meal chart that people have been asking about.
There has been some talk about meal, for sure. And we're double checking on those other charts. And like, there's this like new buzzword. It's like, we're going to double click into them. So it's like we're going to double click into each one of those charts to dive in. How's that sound?
Let's double click right into cheese.
Let's double click. We're double clicking. So this is cheese. What do you think here?
Well, I mean, definitely broke out from the line that you had drawn last week, which we did the episode Thursday last week. This week we're on Wednesday. So the week is not complete, but I don't think we were quite broken out of that downward turn there last week when we did the episode, did we?
Are we going to do a little V bottom action? A little V bottom? Boop, boop.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. I would agree. I mean, the futures are certainly acting that way, huh? Let me just tighten this up a little bit here. Let me just tighten things up a little bit, Cody, for you. Bam. There we go. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I drew that little bad boy right there. We filled this one, so it's not really in play anymore, right?
Right.
But this one we have not. And so futures, shoot. I mean, where's no futures here? 187 and some change. Nova's saying we're going to go right here. Let's get rid of this guy for a second. Nova's, this is where no futures are right now. Started pricing on Monday. Is that right?
Correct.
4-week month?
Yeah.
Nova's saying we're going right here. So Nova's saying we're going to go fill this gap. It sure feels like it too, right? I mean, the way the futures are acting, it was nearly a record day in class 3 volume for a single month, by the way. Nearly, right? 1,700 cars?
Yep. Close, but no dice.
Close, but no dice, says Cody. Close, but no cigar. It's close. Whatever. That's okay.
I got a question for you.
Hit me.
On this chart, RSI is upticking, hasn't gone into overbought territory yet, but the momentum has slipped and kind of heading a little bit lower. How do you judge those two indicators when they might not be moving in sync with each other?
It's a great question. You're not getting any sort of confirmation on a secondary basis of any sort of trend. And, I think it's a really good question because to your point, they're not lining up, right?
Correct.
But what's interesting about this one is that you could argue that it's putting in a higher low, if you will, from here to here, right? That's on the RSI, the second one.
Yep.
And then, here you'd want to be somewhat mindful of, if this, because we've seen these types of indicators before. Like if you go back here, for example, them kind of dip in and then dip out, not really. So it's progression through zero that I think is really the most I think I personally like momentum a little bit better, especially when you have like a big, if it moves, it crosses and then it continues. When I say cross, it goes from positive to negative or vice versa.
Yeah.
So this could be somewhat like a false breakout, right? We definitely want to be mindful of it. We'll see. But if we continue to move higher, this theoretically should cross back over. But it's not it's not really telling you anything right now, right?
As a follow-up to that, is there one that you should be watching over the other? Like, should RSI come before a momentum indicator, or should you use them both in conjunction?
It's a matter of personal opinion.
Okay.
I prefer the momentum. I think it trades well technically and unto itself. So if I just go like this, right? It's really kind of like focusing on this bad boy right here. It can trend itself, right? So it broke through this trend here. You didn't have to necessarily wait for it to cross zero because it broke this long-term downtrend it had. And it also, I like the signals that it gives when you do have like a cross through it, like here to here, right? Because it tends to I think it does a good job predicting when trends have ended. So that's just my opinion. I don't think RSI is bad. Don't get me wrong. I like having a secondary indicator as another judge. I think this does a fantastic job. Like the overbought and oversold piece of that, you just have to be careful in that you want to make sure that if you're going to buy something, it crosses into oversold territory and then back out of oversold territory So, for here, for example, we just blow this bad boy up real fast. It crossed here, and then, you could theoretically draw like a trend that went from here to here, I guess. And let's just do that real fast. Bam. So it breaks into oversold, comes back out of it. That's the blue line. And then breaks through this, what was kind of like a downward trend here. Same time it crossed zero or broke that trend too. You see that?
Yep.
From this guy right here.
Yeah.
So that's those two indicators working in tandem and giving you a nice signal. So again, when these two work together, I like them when they're working again, when they're giving you the same signal, so to speak, or confirming each other. I think they work really well together. If I had to pick one, I'd choose the momentum. That's for a different episode. Either way, I would agree. It looks like we've got some sort of a V bottom potentially taking shape here. And the future's already telling us that we're going to go fill this gap. So then it becomes a question of what if we don't? Futures have really overdone themselves here.
Right.
Wow. And there's been some talk about that, right? Like you had the commitment of traders showed pretty big shorts from like a spec side.
Mm-hmm.
Are we seeing those folks blow out? I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, next step though, this chart's going to go fill this gap.
Okay.
You love gaps.
Love those gap chasers.
Following up, we looked at Whey last week. This would have been the candle last week right here, right? And so the chart would have looked like this. Bam. Now it looks like that.
Okay, so here's one where the momentum and the RSI are working in conjunction with each other on the way up, looking exactly how you think they would.
Correct. And like when you think about the secondary indicator, it's there to provide some confirmation of like a chart pattern that's taking shape here, right? So this is kind of like first and foremost, what's the actual chart itself doing at the price action?
Okay.
We had a big breakout. We had a big downtrend that we broke out from. You got confirmation here, and it went into oversold territory and came back out of it, and then momentum turned to positive, right? So you've had, to your point, you've had both of those indicators giving you the confirmation that this breakout is valid, and now it's like a question of where do we go? I think, we talked about it last week. All this consolidation, I think is just a big target.
At 45 to 47 cents, I think we had.
Yeah. And again, if you draw like the Fibonacci retracement piece, if you're subscribed to that theory, I mean, look at that. That goes right in the smack dab in the heart of that stuff. Would be 33% retracement. That's 46 and some change. Interesting. I mean, it's interesting because Whey for such a long period of time this year, well, I shouldn't say this year. I should say, the better part of the second quarter, pretty much all of the third quarter, really didn't have a material impact on Class 3. It was sideways. But now, if you start to really move here, Whey can be very impactful. Whey goes from 35 cents to 50 cents. That's 15 cents times 6. I can't do that math. What is that? 80 cents? 15 cents a pound in Whey is every penny in Whey is 6 cents in Class 3. So that's 80 cents.
Yeah.
Man, I bet you like that as a farmer.
That's pretty good.
There you go. I'll take that.
That's pretty good. Yeah, because we mentioned that on the last episode, right? Every penny in Whey, you're tacking on 15.
6 cents.
6. Sorry, 6. I got confused with your 15.
You got excited there. That's okay. I'm excited about Whey too. We're all excited about Whey. So yeah, but this looks like it wants to go back into all this, right? We broke out. You're getting the confirmation from the secondary stuff. We broke out into new highs from all this junk last week, and then confirmed that breakout this week by opening higher and then continuing to go. So yeah, this looks strong like bull.
Right. Strong like bull.
What do you think here, boss?
Nonfat.
Do you got the hammer out on this one? What's going on with the hammer?
I think we're going to have to.
What's the hammer doing right now?
That looks like a buy.
I could barely hear the hammer. I mean, we won't hear it. Yeah, there it is.
That one made everything jump. That was just
you just want to like that house. We need to build you a new house after like that hammer is going to shake that thing loose.
But Nonfat, kind of like dry Whey, to your point earlier, was not doing a whole bunch of anything since March going into September. Now it's honestly been, I think, the one that's been dragging Class 4 higher day by day, not marginally like Butter was doing, but in the recent days, it's given it a little bit of a boost here.
Yeah, and we talked about last week this the 50 period moving average. So it's the 50 week, right? This orange line right here, this guy.
Yep,
kind of looks like a pumpkin. Yeah, it broke. It closed above that. We got an open higher this week. not as pronounced as Whey, right? I mean, that candle in Whey is like that one's a lot for this week. It's a lot more pronounced. But we've seen this market trend. Obviously, it has the capacity to trend. I mean, look at this. We went from 130 to 180 back down to 110. I mean, when this thing wants to move, it starts to move.
Correct.
So we've built a great base here. We had a nice breakout of this downtrend. In fact, I would actually be more like here. I don't know what was going on with that. We had the breakout, and I think you can actually draw this on multiple. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So we broke out of the downtrend and then had built a nice base. That to me is a sign of strength. I think the next stop is to go test, the 140. What is this? 141 and some change. That's 33% retracement of this big move here. I'm only including. You can include that if you want to be a little bit more conservative. But since we rejected this price so quickly, I feel like it really was more like kind of, I guess, built a base more around this 108 number, which would bring that 33% up. But if you want to be more conservative, that's cool. And say it should be, hang on. Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking 136, 137. Either way, I think we go and test whatever 33% retracement you want to look at. And that takes us back kind of in this mid 130s, I think low 140s personally, but at least mid 130s area, which, by the way, if we did that, then you would cross over the 200-week moving average, this green guy right here.
I was just going to say that, which we haven't been, I don't think we've been above there since 2022, right?
Or late 2022, early 2023, right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be, so you'd have multiple moving averages giving you the indication that we're starting to turn. So yeah, broke out from this big downtrend, built a nice base over a long period of time, and are now starting to trend higher out of all that. You're leaving all of the selling behind too. When you think about it, any transactions here are going to get left behind in terms from the seller's perspective. So to me, that's also a sign of strength. But yeah, that's things are percolating in the powders. Percolating.
We're moving.
I'll tell you what's moving. Meal. Had several people reach out about this one.
Are we sitting above the 200-day moving average here?
It closed above the 200-day. It's already been above the 50-day, the 20-day. I mean, this thing's cooking.
Meal's moving.
I drew this just real fast. It depends on where you want to have this, right? I mean, the market clearly didn't like this 407, 410 area, right? The few times it tried to get above there, it couldn't even get a daily settlement above that price. Promptly rejected it, tried to get back there again, promptly rejected it, and trended lower. That price looks like a magnet. If it breaks through it, then it's, then you got to go test this price, 421. I mean, it looks like that price also too. Bam, a lot of noise there, going all the way back to last year.
Yeah.
So you got a couple targets, but this candle looks phenomenal. Broke out. I mean, if you just think about it, from trended lower, broke out, did it in a way that's, we crossed zero here. Right. And then this is the best that they could do. And then had another big day and then another phenomenal day. I mean, this thing just looks like we're going to be here in a few days and then we'll see. But if you got to close at 410 or better, look out.
I was trying to make a case with the Fibonacci retracement and I just, the way that I drew it, it doesn't give you a good indication of anything on that one.
So question for you.
Yeah.
Is Meal as good of a buy as Nonfat? Go.
Based on the chart specifically?
Based on the chart. Well, no, the tea leaves. Of course, the chart. What are you talking about? The tea leaves. Right. Based on.
Yeah. I mean, looking at this chart right here, absolutely. It looks.
So so if you could buy a load of Meal or a load of Nonfat, like a tote bag of Nonfat, which one would you do?
If I had to pick, I would pick. If I had to pick that way, I would go Nonfat route.
You'd go Nonfat. All right. Because you hammered your desk hard on the Nonfat.
You did.
I just now felt the shockwave here in Wheaton from Allendale or wherever you live from the hammer. Paige is about to feel it in the city. So,
I guess you're looking at Nonfat. We're at a $1.22, and we're talking about possibly going back to $1.40, $1.41. With what you're looking at right here, okay, if we don't break through that dollar or 407, 408 type number, the risk reward here is not as good to me as it is in Nonfat looking at the chart, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
If we don't break through 408, do we go crashing right back down to 370? I don't really know. I'm not sure. Sure,
it wouldn't be good for the chart.
But this chart does look fairly bullish at this point, right? I mean, even settled today, that's a strong candle.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on kind of your time horizon for if you wanted to buy something too. I don't know, it doesn't feel like a fair question. Sorry, I kind of put you in a bad spot. But that's it. Like short-term buy meal for sure, and probably have like, if own it, have a stop below probably today's or open. Just thinking out loud of where you'd want to have, an out, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, let's say you got the move to 407, 408, and you started to do one of these, like, then you probably want to at least be tightening that stop up or get out or whatever. But if you get the close at 410 or better, I think that's a straight shot to 420.
If we start doing like we did back in the middle of July, what do we got, the 18th through the 26th, 27th there,
Mm-hmm.
then right? It's kind of exhausting itself.
Poof.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Well, that sounds good.
Hey, those were great charts. Great episode.
Great charts. That was, great charts, great episode, great hammer, just like bam. Like,
hey, speaking of great episode, next week, our always anticipated Halloween episode for Tech Talk.
Is it?
It is. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So everyone, get ready for what Andy and I are about to prepare. The costumes we'll be wearing. We appreciate you tuning in this week. Everybody talking about Soybean Meal. Give us something extra to talk about. But until then, everyone have a great week. Fantastic weekend. We'll see you for the Halloween episode next Thursday.
We'll see you Thursday. And maybe Cody will wear something other than a black shirt. We'll see. Who knows? It's Halloween.